Welcome everyone to AAUW Conversation and Connection, or Connection with Conversation. I go both ways if you haven't noticed before I title myself differently. Anyway, welcome. It's Auburn, California. AAUW stands for the American Association of University Women. My name is Sharon Watson Hamilton. I have various guests. Sometimes they're members of AAUW, sometimes they're from the community, and the idea is to bridge those two pods, if you will, the community and with AAUW, so that we learn more about each other. So one thing I want to come to today is AAUW cannot, let me get my notes so I say it perfectly well, because I'm paraphrasing Susan Roughgarden, who is my mentor on this stuff. She's absolutely delightful. We don't support any candidates or any political parties. The AAUW does not. However, we can support economic security for all, equal access to quality public education, all students of social and racial justice, and women in leadership. That kind of brings me to my guest today. And again, I'm going to say thank you to Susan Roughgarden. She's kind of our conduit here. And I'm also going to say a disclaimer. This is more of a political show. However, anything that I say that is my opinion, it's my opinion only, not AAUW and not ACTV. Information stuff is fine, but if I go rogue, then you guys will know it's just me. Anyway, so with that, I am going to introduce Neva Parker. Did I say your first name correctly?
You did perfectly.
Because a lot of times in my head it goes Neva.
Yeah, for a lot of times it's perfect like that too.
Okay.
It was a teasing thing when I was in high school.
I bet.
Yes.
Neva. So tell me a little bit of Neva. I love it. It's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Is it Irish?
No, I don't know what it is actually. The story behind it is that my dad is a Vietnam veteran, and so when he was in Vietnam, he had a sergeant whose daughter's name was that. Well, apparently I was supposed to be a boy.
Okay.
And then I wasn't a boy.
Okay.
And so they weren't sure what to name me. And then my dad remembered about that name. He was like, oh, let's name her that. So Neva Marie is technically my full first name. So
I
Neva
love
Marie.
that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Which we will start our talk today with your journey.
Okay.
How you got to this moment in time, where you're from, education background, and then what you're doing. So we'll kind of go down that road.
Perfect. I love it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So how shall I start?
Well, like you said, you kind of referred, where did you learn to ride a bike?
I loved that, by the way. That was fantastic. So, in a previous episode, you had asked a guest where I learned how to ride a bike, or where they learned how to ride a bike. And so I learned how to ride a bike in Hercules, California, which is... Does anybody know where Hercules?
Okay, Phil, our producer, does. Oh, by the way, we have another guest here. Tomas is here, by the way, just behind the scenes, you two. If we talk to two people, that's who they are.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Hercules, isn't that down the Bay Area?
It is. It's in the East Bay. So, like, if you go over the you're coming from this direction, you go over the Carquinez Bridge. There's Crockett, Rodeo. Then there's Hercules. You can see it on the side. And, of course, after I moved, they started developing the whole other, bayfront, so that's all developed now too.
Okay.
They took away my little league.
Is the sugar tower still there at the end of the bridge?
Okay. So but that's in Crockett.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So definitely there. So yeah, that's where I grew up. My mom and dad grew up in the Oakland area and Fremont and that area, but their families came to California right after World War II.
Okay.
And so my dad's family came from New Mexico. My mom's family came from Ohio and Indiana.
Okay.
So so that's kind of where I learned how to ride a bike.
Okay.
Hills of Hercules.
Yeah, that's a pretty good place.
Yeah.
Did you learn to drive a stick shift there too?
I did, actually. 100% I did. And I never really fully understood. Actually had a really easy time with sticks, and for the longest time, that's all I drove because it was fun. Driving a stick is fun.
Yeah.
And then traffic.
Yeah.
And then I just decided I didn't want to do that
Well,
anymore.
I'm from Illinois, so I learned to drive on flat land, so that was fine. As soon as there was a hill, it was like, okay, I'm going automatic.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I learned how to like play in the clutch, which I think you're kind of not supposed to do.
I know, but it's fun. It is fun. Okay, so, all right, that's kind of cool. What was your first car?
My first car was a Datsun 210, 1982 Datsun 210. And it died going downhill.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'd have to, in the morning, you would have to, I got it when I was, I was like the first to get the driver's license, so, well, not really, but anyways. I was the oldest, so I got the driver's license, and so I get the car, take my sister to school, and take everybody to school, so now Mom doesn't have to do the carpool anymore or whatever. So I get this car, and it's my dad's old commuter car. And it's like 1992, so it's not that old of a car. It's only 10 years old. But you used to have to let it warm up for like 10, 15 minutes, and if you did not do that, coming down the hill, it would literally die coming down the hill, and I would have to to the bottom of the hill, or pull over and start it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a little maroon Datsun 210 hatchback.
All right. Gotta bring in the cars. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So then you went to school, college. What's your background?
So I when I graduated from high school, I went to junior college first. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Plus, we didn't really have the money to send me to a 4-year college.
And California junior colleges, shout out.
Yeah, 100%.
Love them.
Yes. Best experience. I went to Contra Costa College in San Pablo. And again, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I just didn't feel like spending a lot of money at a 4-year college to figure out what I wanted to do made fiscal sense.
Right.
And also, to be truthfully honest, I wasn't really ready to move away from home. I came from a nice background, so I love my family, and I just wasn't ready to move yet. So I went to junior college first, and then I transferred to UC Davis, and I majored in history. While I was at UC Davis, let me backtrack a little bit. My first involvement in government was with the City of Hercules. So when I was right out of high school, I applied for a job in the Parks and Recs department, and so I got a job as an office assistant in the Parks and Rec department. And for 3 years while I was at junior college and before I went to UC Davis, because there's some like hiccups in between there.
Right.
Yeah.
As we all have.
Yeah, exactly. For a couple of years, I worked for the City of Hercules, and so I did a number of things from office assistant to rec leader, which we were just setting up the rooms for events and stuff, which I loved that, by the way. That was so much fun. And then also, childcare, the whole deal. So I did the whole gamut of that. So that was my first experience with like working for government.
And was that the city?
City of Hercules.
It wasn't a special district or anything like that?
No, City of Hercules Parks and Recreation Department.
Gotcha.
And I actually worked with a bunch of people I went to high school with. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so that was my first experience, like, working with the public and constituents and like providing services to everybody in the community, not just, like a certain subset of customers or something. And so I loved it. I thought it was great. And then, so when I went to UC Davis, moved up there, of course couldn't work there anymore, so I was out of a job. And I'm sitting in the quad, because I used to like to sit on the quad under the trees and read in between classes. And Aggies had a newspaper, so the Aggie, I think that was the name of the paper now, it's been so many years.
We'll make our name.
Yeah, they had like an advertisement for an internship in the chief clerk's office in the state assembly, which was at the Capitol. And at the time, I was studying history, and I was trying to find what I wanted to focus on. And so I really wanted to focus on California history, and I was taking California history classes. And so you had to have like a couple, I think like one full concentration and then like some sub-concentrations. But I wanted to focus on California history, so I did that. And I thought, this internship's going to be great because I can learn where all of this stuff is happening, and I could be there, I could like physically do the work, right? And so I applied for the internship, and shockingly, I got it.
Lovely.
Yeah, so like 6 months into me being at Davis, I started at the Capitol, and I was there. I had been there until 2023.
So are you doing both, working and going to school, or did you have to give up school for a while?
No, I did both.
Okay,
so luckily UC Davis, and I don't know if they have this now because this has been 1997.
Okay.
So at the time, they had a planned academic leave program, and you could do that every once in a while because Davis at the time was like, they didn't really have night classes. It was all during the day.
Okay.
So you called it pelping, and so for like a semester you could pelp, and so I did that so I could work.
Right.
And then, so again, it took me a little
Longer.
to finish
That's
school.
okay. We all do that.
Yeah. So she graduated in 97, graduated in 99. So I did go to school and did work, but it kind of, balanced out.
Mm-hmm.
And the office that I worked in, the chief clerk's office, was fantastic. And the first 2 years I was 10 months. So I would have the winter free. And after my internship, they hired me, which I got I worked really hard. And I used to tell I was like, I'm going to work really hard and they're going to give me a job, right? And they did, but I also, that meant other people had to get promoted or moved or whatever.
Right.
So luckily there was a position for me to have, and so they hired me. And I just worked there and went to school and tried to fit in as much as I could. And I was there for 26 years.
Isn't that amazing? I know. That's so grand, though.
Yeah.
And you learn so much. And congratulations to our state history yesterday.
Yes,
Happy
happy birthday! I'm so sad I wasn't down at the Capitol because they do a whole birthday.
Yeah, they held what was it? 175 years?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that's kind of fun. 99. I always remember 99. Don't ask me. So now, today,
yes,
you live in Sacramento?
I live in Roseville.
Roseville, okay, so
Yeah.
Placer County girl.
Mm-hmm.
And you are running for California State Assembly, District 5.
Yes.
That's accurate,
Yes,
right?
that is accurate.
Okay, so I'm going to back up a little
Sure.
bit, and you'll have our background. How many districts are there in the state?
So,
do you know?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. So
The state assembly.
the state
district.
assembly, there are 80 districts.
80 districts,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And District 5 covers what territory?
Parts of Placer and parts of El Dorado County.
So it's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. So Roseville, Rockland, Auburn, North Auburn. I can go up to Meadow Vista.
Okay.
Then it cuts over into El Dorado County, like for Cool, Coloma, Placerville, down into El Dorado Hills, and that's where it
Do you
cuts
get,
off.
so
Yeah.
you don't go over into Folsom?
No,
That's a different
it
thing.
used to. Before redistricting, it did. The district, of course, was different.
Right.
It wasn't, but
Right.
it did at one point.
But this is for the state,
Mhm.
and we're so proud of you. That would be
you.
so great.
Wonderful.
I know. And you're married?
I am.
Yeah. So
To
that's
Dennis.
Okay,
Yes.
Dennis. Is Parker your maiden name? Or?
No, Parker is my married name. My
okay.
maiden name is Frescus,
Okay.
actually.
Well, the reason I asked that is because my mother's maiden name was Parker, so
Oh,
we
okay.
might be related. I'm just saying,
Okay.
by marriage or something, right? No, that's fun. So I'm going to ask, maybe a difficult question.
Okay.
What are your passions? Why are you running? That's a tough one.
It
I
is
know.
because there's so many.
Caught you off guard.
Well, there's just so many because what I am passionate about is good government. I think it's really important. We really, people shouldn't have to. People should be engaged in their government. Obviously, know what's going on, and that's what part of being a constitutional democracy and all of that is
Right.
about. But also, people should be not so encumbered by what's going on in the government to not just be able to go out and live their lives.
Right.
And so I feel like it's really important that people be able to trust what their government's doing and what their representatives are doing and know that those representatives and the government have their best interests at heart. Might not be perfect.
Right.
But
right.
at least, they can know that maybe I don't agree with this guy, maybe this guy or this person or this woman or whatever is of a different political party, but I do know that they have our best interests at heart.
That's so difficult to define today. Trust is so under the gun.
Yeah.
Because we hear one side and another side is like 180 degrees different.
Yeah.
Which and that's we are a two-party system. I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have different things brought to the party. But it's hard to fact check everything. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah.
I try so hard to look something up, and I'm going, but that doesn't, my intuitiveness gets in the way sometimes. Yeah. Do I really believe that? Or I catch myself yelling at the TV every now and then that they're lying.
Yeah.
And, so that's a difficult hoop that it's nice to hear
Yeah.
that take on wanting to be out there to represent us in a truth-based way.
Yeah.
It's hard, again, if you're running for a whole district, of which I don't know the makeup of our district, but I'm going to say it leans, it's probably pretty close to 50-50 actually, is
You
it?
mean in terms of registration makeup? It's like 40, I think the last time I looked was like 41% Republican and like 31% Democrat. And the rest were
independent.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a diverse group that you have to represent.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to not represent a bunch of them by representing another too much.
Exactly.
I don't know how to put it.
No, I mean, I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
You want to be open to a lot of things, and just not an easy task. The political world, in my opinion now, it's very divisive and very, in my opinion, it can be brainwashing and not always in a very truthful way.
Well, yeah, and I think you kind of touched a little bit on it. Like if you're like a representative who's unwilling to branch out of your group of people who agree with you,
right?
You're gonna live in this echo chamber, and whatever you say is going to be just informed by that echo chamber. And so how can you then even speak to the people, like to everybody at that point?
Right.
So I mean, to go back to the trust issue, I think, just representatives being able to get out of that bubble, to say, I'm okay talking, I don't agree with you, but I'm going to talk to you right now.
Right.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we all just need the same things, like for the most part.
Right.
Like,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's just sometimes the road to the same thing is a little curvy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always see it as your political party is how you want government to relate to you.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily your tribe. It's not your group.
That in itself, sorry, Neva. That in itself is your challenge. Because you want to represent everybody, but if 30% are in a bubble chamber, in some sort of cyclone, and I will be the first to admit, I don't look everything up. I try to read, I try to keep up, I try to stay neutral, I try to listen to both sides. It's too much.
Yeah.
And so when I hear something, okay, does that make sense? Who's saying it? And if I love the person saying it, I just go with it.
Yeah.
I'm not fact checking. I'm not, even if it was fact checked and I love this person, I rarely am gonna believe it, right?
Yeah. Well,
is that sad?
Well, I don't know if it's sad. I think it's just we all have our lives to live, and it's really hard. So legislators have a bill limit.
Okay.
So that's as many bills. That's what that means is that's how many bills they can carry in a session, right? So I think it changes. I don't know what it is now. It's like 40 or 50 in the assembly, and that's their bill package for the year. And so that's what their staff and the membership, that member is juggling. Whether all of those bills go out, whether they introduce all of those bills, I don't know. But they have staff to help them.
Right.
And they have hearings.
Right.
They have, nonpartisan staff, partisan lobby, just all of that helping them. Meanwhile, the average person here in California, if you look at the ballots, if there's propositions on the ballot, depending on how many there are, that's essentially, in my opinion, a voter's bill load.
Oh, no, it really is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't have the benefit of staff telling you what, the facts or, helping you with that, nor do you have, nonpartisan agencies. You've got marketing coming at you fast and hard. And, how... Exactly. So, as much as I fully support our initiative process, that is the flip side of that, you know. So,
that's a good introduction into what's coming up November 4th and Proposition 50.
Yes.
Just, I kind of wanted to focus a little bit on that. It's, my heart goes out to our elections office, by the way.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to all of us who are footing the bill, and it's too late to go back. We have to move forward. But I'm not sure I understand the history. This is like Proposition 50. There was a first Proposition 50, like 2008, which put the...
Okay, so let's backtrack.
Yeah, let's
the
backtrack.
numbers change. So Prop 50 from, whatever while ago is a
Right.
different animal than Prop 50 now.
Right.
So if you're referring to something that happened, is it specifically Prop 50 or did it have a different number?
Well, there was, I think, 8, but there was a 50, and they
Okay.
called it 50.
Okay.
The same thing, kind of a districting thing.
Okay.
But it was where we are now
Okay.
on the committee.
Okay.
Isn't that how
So
they do it?
the establishment of the redistricting
Yes,
commission is
right.
what you're talking about.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
And the voters of California put that in play.
Mhm.
So now we fast forward to today.
Yes.
That commission is still who does our redistricting,
Mm-hmm.
but we typically, and this is where, I'm sorry, Representative Kiley, I don't mind his bill.
No.
He said,
Yeah.
hey, let's just only do it after the census, none of this midterm
Yeah.
stuff. So when Texas roared its head, via our president, by the
Yes.
way, he requested it, that is the retaliation that our governor took.
Okay.
I use that word, we have to, I don't know, it's so awful, but I'm worried.
Uh-huh.
Who's doing the redistricting? If we say yes to this proposition on November 4th, we have a year.
Yeah.
Who's doing the redistricting?
Well,
That's the biggest.
The maps already exist.
Right.
So what was it, AB or SB 604?
Right.
Okay, so those maps already exist. I can't. They did an interview with. I think his name was Paul Mitchell.
Okay.
I think he was involved in it, but I'm not 100% certain. So
Okay.
don't,
Okay, yeah.
disclaimer. But there were folks drafting that bill. Now,
Right.
who was 100% behind it? I don't know. I wasn't involved in any
So
of
the
that. I don't
bill is just saying we want to redistrict, right?
So no.
Yes
So
or no?
here how this
Okay. Let's
starts off with ACA 8.
Okay,
ACA
right.
8 was the language to amend the Constitution itself.
Our state
Our
constitution.
state, and ACA is an assembly constitutional amendment. It's a like a resolution.
Right.
Lots of things behind that, but it's a measure that the legislature passes. So there's two ways you get a ballot measure. One is by signatures, and the other is by constitutional amendment that the legislature puts it onto the ballot.
Right.
And so that's what happened. And so what that is, ACA 8 is, and that's what you're going to be voting for, if I understand this correctly, is the language that amends the Constitution. Within that language is the we will adopt the maps for 26, 28, and 30. 2026, 2028, and 30 as outlined or as whatever in AB, I think it's AB or SB 604, and then I think there's one other bill associated with it.
Okay.
And so in order to find out what those maps look like, you would then need to go to AB or 604 or whatever.
So they don't look like that now. That's not what we have now.
No, that is not what we have now. Nothing changes unless that ballot measure passes. So
Right.
unless Prop 50 passes, nothing changes.
Right. So let's say it passes. How is that change going to happen? I mean, now we're saying, yes, let's redistrict some of
Okay.
that stuff, right? And the idea is that maybe the Democrats will inherit 5 more seats. So my question is, we've gotten that far.
Yeah.
We know it's on the ballot.
Yeah.
We know we're scrambling to get it properly on the ballot.
Sure.
And that we're saying, yes, let's redistrict and see where we're at. So who's doing...
So that's it.
Yeah.
We're already redistrict. It's all, the maps already exist at this point per 604. AB 604.
But then why do we even need this? If they're already there, is that what we're not using?
We're substituting what exists already. Does that make sense?
Okay, I'm going to put it in normal language. Normal language is so right. I'm down here.
Yes.
So what you're saying is, yes, the districts that we are using now, and we're going to vote on November 4th to have those redone, but the redone is already there.
Exactly. You're not voting to have them redone. You're voting to amend the Constitution to adopt these maps, these new districts
They're-
as of...
But they're new maps. They're not I mean, they exist because you've worked on them or something's worked on them.
Yeah.
But we're not using them
Right
for
now.
our districts.
Not right now.
If we say yes to this, we will use them. But
Exactly.
they're already in existence. It's
Yes.
not something that's going to happen.
No.
And so that's why it's kind of safe to say we could inherit 5 seats, because there obviously is more seats
Yeah.
in the new version.
Yes.
If we say yes to it. It's not a new version. It's already in existence, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's not in implementation.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're going to vote for that. Well, that, so because that's
Right.
always the question: who's doing the redistricting? Well, it's already done. Now, do we have access to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. You can look them up online.
Okay.
So it even changes. So like we in the campaign, we were trying to figure out where everybody is now. Because
Right.
at this moment, we're all within a Senate, now it's only congressional districts too. So assembly districts
Right.
aren't impacted.
Okay.
Or aren't affected by that. But
Okay, wait, back up for clarification. The
Sure.
assembly, the state assembly is kind of like the state Senate, or the U.S. Senate, and the congressional, okay, I messed
No.
up again.
That's okay. You'd be surprised because a lot of folks just,
Well-
what, you get like a year? Maybe in
yeah,
school?
maybe, and I didn't
Yeah.
go to school here.
Yeah.
But, okay, so clarify that.
So the legislature is the assembly and the Senate.
Right.
Okay. If
So
you
the
want to mirror it to
Uh-huh.
Congress,
Uh-huh.
you would then have the assembly is like the House of
House of
Representatives
Representatives.
and the Senate is like the Senate.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
got it. And we're only going to look at the assembly, is that right?
For
In
the Prop
district-
50?
In Prop 50.
Prop 50 is only for congressional districts going to the federal congressional district. Nothing. So the Citizens Redistricting Commission, if I
Oh, I
understand
get it.
correctly-
Okay, I'm now with you again.
Okay.
You're running. I'm sorry. I came back.
No, it's a lot. It's so much. Believe me, you are not the only one. I can tell you.
So the assembly district that you are running for is not impacted by this.
No.
Only the congressional districts.
Yes.
And how many congressional districts is the state of California? Do we know that?
Oh gosh, off the top of my head.
No, that's okay. It's okay. How many represent?
52?
Well,
Saying
there's
52.
58 counties.
I know.
I don't know.
Huh? Okay, never mind.
Okay, come on, come on.
It's not
Anyway.
by counties.
It's not by counties.
Okay, so that clarifies a little bit, because I was getting my apples and oranges all in the same barrel, I think.
Yeah, well, a lot of people
Yeah,
do. That's
yeah.
why it's so confusing for folks, and I
Yeah.
don't blame them for being like, I'm scared of this. I don't know
Right.
what this means. And
Right.
and I mean, to be truthfully honest, the Democratic Party has a uphill battle trying to describe to folks exactly what this is, because
Right.
again, it's confusing. The Citizens Redistricting Commission, if I remember correctly, does they redraw the maps every 10 years.
Right.
After the census,
Census.
for congressional districts, assembly districts, state senate districts,
Right.
and Board of Equalization. I think it's
Gotcha.
only those four.
But that's
Um,
that's
but
a lot, because
It's
they all
huge-
get in.
Yeah.
And then the Senate, which is just the
Yes.
congressional Senate, the
yes.
big Senate, it's always going to be 2, so
Yes.
they don't need it.
No.
There are 2 of us, 2 coming from California, no matter
Exactly.
what.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that's so important.
Yeah.
And so this is only, okay, and that makes sense now, even though it's on a state level. Sorry, people, it's really not a state level. It's
a federal level.
It's a federal
Yeah.
level.
So
yeah,
your
yeah.
local representatives don't change. Me
Right.
running for Assembly District 5
Right.
is the same. If you voted in Assembly District 5 last
Right.
election, you're voting in Assembly District 5 this next one.
Right. Okay.
You just might change for your congressional district depending on what happens on
Right.
November 4th.
Yeah.
Like I moved in Roseville from Congressional District 3 to Congressional District 6,
Okay.
which currently I think is Ami Berra right at the moment.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what,
I know.
and then
I know there's a lot.
It's a lot, and I think within our the campaign, the core team, I think there's like 3 separate congressional districts now,
Right.
like 3, 4, and 6
Yeah.
that
yeah.
we're all trying to figure
Well,
out.
see, that's the other thing. We're used to counties, we're used to states, and now we've
Yeah.
got these districts, and now there's 4 different kinds. Yeah. Well, having said that.
Yeah, hopefully I can clarify.
How are we doing on time, Phil? We're probably way over, but we don't care. Give me a number. No, don't. Okay. Thanks, Phil. I needed an update on our time.
Yeah.
So to wrap up Proposition 50,
Okay.
so it is convoluted, but it's only good for
This Well,
26, 28, and 30, if it passes?
the maps are.
The maps
to
are.
clarify, within the language that people will be voting, and when I say language, like when you're voting on this ballot measure, what you're voting on is to insert, like, when I say like words, right? Like words into the Constitution, language within the Constitution that says very specific things. One of which is, we're going to adopt these maps for 26, 28, and 30. The other portion, and I think it's like 4D, it may have changed since I wrote that article, but the other portion of it is when, after that is over, the commission still operates and does their work. So they will, after this point, because the commission's still busy working. So
Right.
we've adopted these maps. I'm going to
that's good.
understand.
No, that's okay.
Let's like this. But the commission stays in effect.
This is going to be as good as a freeway.
Yeah. Or a roundabout.
Right.
Sorry, I had to throw that one in.
I know. Thank you.
But there's very specific language that you will be voting on that
Right.
says the commission stays in effect. So
Okay.
as of 2030, after the census in 2031, they will present their maps for the next election, for the remaining 10 years until the next census. So you're voting on that very specifically. That's within, at least the last time I looked, in the language of the amendment. So I know people are worried a little bit about whether or not this carries over. Like, okay, what makes you? I mean, we're doing this now, so
Right.
what's to say? Yeah, and to be honest with you, that's the clause within the amendment is like a legal mechanism, right?
Okay.
But there's also, like a will, like a political will. And I fully understand people's worry about that.
Right.
Because if we're doing this, I will note that, again, it's a constitutional thing. If you want to do something within the Constitution, you'd have to go to the voters. Yeah.
Right.
And in California, I mean, luckily it's not just happening. Like, we as voters get to decide. So I fully understand the worry. I do. And again, I think it's a two-pronged thing. It's not just we vote on one thing, but it's a will, and making certain that we have leaders who
and they change, and it's part of the downs to democracy is that our leaders do change.
Yeah.
Although, no, I won't go down that road. Anyway, let's bring it back to you.
Sure.
You're running for office.
I am.
State Assembly, and your opponent is Mr. Patterson?
Joe Patterson.
Joe Patterson. So what makes you different from him? What is your platform? And don't have to be lengthy.
No,
We're not
that's
going to
fine.
grind you.
No, that's okay. So things that make me different than him. One is I will go talk out. I mean, I will go talk to folks that are not within my group. I'm not afraid to do that.
Okay. You're the Pete Buttigieg of this district. Okay, sorry. I love Pete, so I got to throw that out there.
Yeah.
But I love it that he always talked to Fox, too. It was great.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
A few other things, very specific things. One, I'm very much in favor of women's reproductive health. He is anti-abortion. He is not in favor of that. Okay. One other aspect, too, that's sort of near and dear to my heart, because I've had some family members and friends who've been been kind of victim of the opiate crisis. So recovery is really important. Recovery reform, all of that is very important to me. He's probably bad political campaign candidate form to give your props to your opponent, but
no, I think it's good.
Yeah, but I think that his work on fentanyl and One Pill Can Kill, that's very important. I think it's something that I'm glad that he's working on. What I wish would happen is he would broaden that scope a little bit to include actual addiction, actual recovery, and changing, taking advantage of opportunities, to help people rather than incarcerate them.
Right.
So I really think that, those are two things that separate us as well. I'm blanking.
That's okay. Okay, I'll just throw a couple and then we'll wrap it up. But you are a woman in leadership. That's important. Mm-hmm. I'm not, AAUW, don't listen. I'm really not one of those that go for that. What I go for is the best candidate.
Yeah.
And so I typically, when I hear, oh, she's a woman, that doesn't drive me.
Yes.
Now I've met you,
Yeah.
it will drive me.
Oh, okay, great.
So no, I think it's really important to have women in, because we shy away from it.
Yeah.
We just do.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just so great. And you bring a lot of history and background. I think it's going to be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think it's important. I mean, okay, let me talk about myself a little bit.
I know, just a bit.
Let me prop myself up a little bit.
Yeah.
I do have a nonpartisan background. Like, I have a legislative background. I can bore you to tears about the legislative process if you would like. I won't do that, but I could. My job was to make the process available to people and make it so that people can participate in their government, and trust it.
Right. And understand it.
Exactly.
Legalese, oh, come on.
It is. It's really hard. And honestly, and this goes back to the environments that you put yourself in. Because I do have a hard time, like when I left work, and there's lots of things that happen, like a lot of people don't know, and I'm trying to why did you do that? Let me explain this, and then you try to explain it, and everybody glazes over because you're using jargon and stuff like that.
Right.
But
no, we get that.
Yeah. So I'm trying really hard to figure out how to distill that into language that's
going to be good.
Yes, but I think the nonpartisan aspect of me, the fact that was my career for so long, is to make government accessible. And also that I got to see and witness with my own eyes, parties working together. People with different ideologies working together and coming up with good solutions for the state and for people in their districts. And that is a legitimately uplifting experience to see. And so I want to see that again. There's been too much tribalism, and I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I want us to, I want you to, I want you to be happy.
It's not going to stop on a dime.
Yeah, it's not.
But your first step, a second step, whatever it takes you. Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, what's coming up next for you? Do you have a campaign? How do you raise money? You've got to have some kind of something coming up.
Well, we make phone calls.
Okay.
We make phone calls.
Yeah.
But we do have an event on August 26th. It's or September 26th.
I was going to say, wait, we're past.
Well, it was because it was in August, and then we had to cancel it because the heat was too much.
Oh, yeah.
So we canceled it, and so we moved it to September 26th. It's at the Roseville General Store and Refillery.
Where's that?
It's in Roseville off of Vernon Street. It's a great store.
Downtown?
Downtown Roseville.
Oh,
but it's a great store. She has, it's just her whole objective is about sustainability and less of a carbon
So a
footprint.
fundraiser going to be there?
It's going to be there. So behind her, she has a patio, and at that patio is also a coffee shop that's back there too. So we'll be there at 7 o'clock, September 26th.
Night or morning?
In the evening.
Okay, sorry, I'm a morning person too. So anyway.
I mean, I am a morning person.
And you mentioned coffee. I was going to be there at 7. I could be there all day.
Well, we'll have. Yeah, that's true. I could too. But yeah, so we'll be there September 26th, 7 p.m. at the Roseville General Store and Refillery.
Okay.
And then you can go to my website. It's nevaparkerforassembly.com, and you can actually just type my name, Neva, N-E-V-A, Parker, and I should be the first thing that pops up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
You are the first thing. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
excited for you.
Thank you.
It's a good career path, and anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate this. I really do. This is fantastic.
Oh, it's fun. I'm going to wrap us up.
Okay.
But Phil, you had a couple questions. Did we get to most of it? He's nodding his head. He doesn't want to say anything. Tomas, anything we need to focus on that we didn't? Because we're girls. We just kind of went. I went shopping. I had coffee at 7. So anyway, people, thank you for joining us. Neva,
yes,
thank you. You're going to be great.
Thank you.
I don't even have to wish you luck. I know it's going to work.
Thank you very much.
So fundraisers, if you more in the future, Auburn. Just the explanation of what's coming up on November 4th. I know it's not you, but it's nice to hear. So keep that good work up.
Yeah.
let's see, last but not least, everybody be good to yourselves, but most importantly, my Niners won the first week. Sorry, had to bring it up. I know people get sick of it, but they're used to me now.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was at a cost of some injuries, but we're going to be fine. Kittle, Purdy, and Juan Jennings. So anyway, we'll be good. I wish my Niners luck. Be good to each other. It's beautiful fall weather. Take care. Thank you.